Yes, I identify myself as a European, definitely. All persons hosting themselves many identities, I think. So I'm an European, I'm an Italian, I'm from my region here in Italy, and every person has his or her personal cultural, political, sexual, artistic perspective. This landscape, let's say, builds one's personality. Unfortunately, identity is a word that is sometimes misused. I would say someone use the concept identity to separate, to create distances and walls. And I believe in a non-exclusive identity, and again in a society together which is enriched by the participation of many persons with many points of view. Well, I know it might sound banal, but I would say that the Erasmus was my most formative moment. I lived in Hamburg, Germany, as an exchange student, and I liked it so much that I stayed there for 6 years. I found good job opportunities, many friends, a personal relationship, and I have to say my time in Hamburg was one of the most beautiful periods of my life. It's hard to find one. Many events are challenging the trust in the European Union in this time, this historical moment. Probably the worst thing is the migrant crisis. We have seen scenes in the media for which there are no words. And the European Union, I remember, won the Nobel Prize for Peace in 2012, and I think Europe must deserve its role and be an example for human rights and solidarity in the world. It's also hard to say. However, I would say the fact that me and many people are still believing in Europe despite all difficulties, I think that says much about how beautiful the idea of Europe still is. The idea of a cooperation of so many states and regions and persons is something important and, and great. Peace, of course, and then studying, working, traveling in other countries without any problem is something wonderful, I think. Last year, in this month, I was on holiday in Portugal with my German girlfriend, and after all, I felt like being home over there. I saw Berlin, Rome, Prague, Lisboa, Vienna, Edinburgh, and there are so many places I haven't visited yet that I feel kind of guilty as an European gentleman not having been there yet. There's another thing. I'm also a musician. I play accordion, and in Hamburg, in 2012, I created with some incredible people a music project, a band, and with those persons, I'm still playing together. We are making some concerts in Germany, in Italy, and hopefully in many other places in the future. And this band is an open project. So many people have been taking part and just showing up at the rehearsal, playing together, and it's a wonderful thing. A turning point in the climate crisis. Time is over. The planet needs us to put into practice policies for the environment now. Europe is in the right place to set the path, to lead the way to a more sustainable future, I think. While thinking of this interview, I noticed that many of my comic stories, almost the majority of them, have something to do with Europe. In 2013, I won the competition Animate Europe with the comic Erasmus and the Seal, in which Erasmus of Rotterdam has an imaginary conversation about Europe with a seal in the belly of a whale. In 2014, I took part into the project Europe 1414 and made a comic about the colonial soldiers who were deployed in Europe during the First World War. My graphic novel Marco Polo published in 2015, is a fantastic biography of the Venetian traveler and has to do with belonging, inner and outer geographies. This applies also to the book I'm currently working on, set in Italy during the failed revolution of 1848-49, and including surreal figures taken from the Norse mythology.